Hey y'all, welcome. How are you? Happy Wednesday. It's the Wednesday post Thanksgiving. Crazy December. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I went to see Wicked, which I had very high hopes. I'm obsessed with Wicked, the musical, but have to say the movie didn't quite live up, but I could see it being good objectively. So glad to have you. If you are here watching live, would love to hear where you are, where you're tuning in from. Feel free to say hey in the chat. And if any questions come up for you throughout the live, just feel free to pop them in there and I will answer your questions. I'm here to help you today. So yes, I wanted to actually do this from bed, but I didn't think I could quite do it. So I brought a pillow. Which I don't think will really get to stay in the frame, but I would love to do a live from bed if I could figure it out with all the lighting. So anyway, that's where I do a lot of my work is literally from bed. So so I'm super excited to get into this with you all today. So today we're going to be talking about how to market your practice as an introvert, i.e. from bed. Super excited to get into this topic. Hey there, Miss Red Hots. How are you? It's so good to see you, Shan. So I am Emma. I am a business strategist for therapists. I'm also an LPC. I have been in private practice for 10 years. I am all private pay. I charge $250 a session and I travel the world. I love my private practice so much that I just want to share my love of it with everyone. I want you guys to be able to have this life as well. It is so possible. If you are curious about working together and if you're serious about growing a private pay practice, book a call with me. I'll put the link in the comments for how to do that. And worst case scenario, we'll have a great 45 minutes together and you'll walk away with some new info. So let's go ahead and get into it. So today we're talking about how to market your practice as an introvert from bed. So if you're an introverted therapist here, if you're watching this back, I would love you to just raise your hand, say hello. And I'm wondering if for you ever feel like you're fighting an uphill battle when it comes to your marketing. You don't really want to be out there exposed, shouting about your superpowers from the rooftops. You don't really love huge parties or big gatherings or the idea of networking events. And you maybe definitely don't want to be a social media influencer. If I've described anything like you, I'm here to say hi, I'm you. I am the exact same way. Yes, Sue, you're an introvert and marketing is not my thing. I totally understand that. Draining 100%. Yes. And I know that too. It can especially on our introverted nervous systems, it can feel really overstimulating, I think, as well. So I 100% hear you. And I'm here to kind of help you think about things in a different way. We're told all the time, and I've heard there's the book about this, introversion is a gift and da 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 da. It's such a great quality to have, but maybe you are worried that with your introverted personality and with this getting drained by marketing, you're not going to be able to draw in clients. Because a lot of the activities we're told to do to market our practice are very extroverted seeming, and it might seem like the people who get clients are the ones that are just out there and have met all the doctors and are in the in crowd with everyone. Jennifer, marketing is a gift I don't have. Totally. This is how I felt for a very, very long time as well. And we're told Go to the networking events, give talks, put your business card in every healthcare provider's like bathroom and waiting room and whatever. Like, we are told we need to be everywhere to market ourselves and our practice. And no wonder this feels completely draining. And we might just even feel worse about the fact that we are these like introverted babes who would rather be found by clients rather than be chasing clients, who like to foster deep relationships rather than have like superficial relationships with a million different random therapists, and really who don't want to be all over social media. So I'm here to tell you some good news, that you do not need to be an influencer. You do not need to be dancing on camera. You do not need to be superficially connecting with everyone in order to get clients. And you definitely don't need to be chasing clients. Clients can find you. They can come to you. So I really got full in my private pay practice using strategies that you can mostly implement from your bed. So I'm here to kind of share some of that with you. So at first, I did a bunch of strategies that I totally hated. So I have talked about this in other trainings, but I passed out a lot of business cards to people. I put them up at restaurants and in yoga studios. And of course, people aren't really doing yoga and like trying to find a therapist at the same time. So it definitely did not really work. I also did some public speaking, which wasn't a bad strategy, but I wasn't really thinking about who I was talking to when I was doing it. So I did it for like some lawyers. I did it for people who were maybe not, or a bunch of men, and I really work with women. I wasn't strategic in the way I thought about how to do this. I also got a bunch of pamphlets made that I sort of like passed out. So I was kind of just throwing a bunch of spaghetti at the wall. I went to hospitals. I went to doctors' offices. Tell me, by the way, if any of this is like resonating with you, or if you guys have done similar things to this. I also, oh my gosh, I went to the BNI. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. It's like this big networking group, but it's full of people from like all different kinds of professions. And it's definitely, it's weird to be like marketing yourself as a therapist in these groups, because you're not probably going to see the clients who are other people in the group. And it wasn't a very effective strategy either. And I just felt so awkward. I'm glad, Jennifer, you've you felt some of these things as well. And so a lot of the therapists who come to me, they've tried a lot of things that they think are maybe respecting their introverted nature, but they actually don't really work, because a lot of people have realized, like, I can't go at that pace. I can't do all of those things. So maybe they have hired out like their website and SEO. I've talked about this in other trainings, but that often doesn't work, because your website might look really pretty, but I had a client who had this experience, but it doesn't say anything about you and your specific gifts. These people who build websites and do SEO are often not educated in our ideal client in mental health and how to talk to people in a way that converts them into clients. So this can often kind of end up backfiring. And if it does work, it ends up being something you just have to keep paying someone else to do, which I don't think is the kind of long-term strategy I want for you guys. And then Google and Facebook ads, those often, like Google ads, I think are a better option, but Facebook ads, like people are not looking for a therapist when they're scrolling on Facebook. You would have to be, running Facebook Facebook ads are just not really the way to go. I've heard of a lot of people doing that and not getting great results. Google ads sometimes, but you really need to have an amazing website, amazing SEO already for Google ads to work. So those are some of the reasons those might not have worked for you. But I have had a full private pay practice for years without doing these kinds of things to market my business. And I'm not saying that you don't need to network or be out there at all, because strategic networking is actually a big part of what I teach my clients to do. But we can do these things in ways that really respect our introverted nature and respect our preferences and like what we like and what we want to do. So this is what I teach therapists how to do. I'm super passionate about this. One thing I want to add, because we're not really talking too much about networking in this training, but I do just want to say it, is that if you're introverted, like you actually are probably set up to be a really good networker because, and hear me out on this, because networking is really about building meaningful relationships, and it's really about having like a quiet, calm curiosity about another person and showing an interest in them rather than like, you know, going out and trying to scream about your niche and your practice from the rooftops, because people are often kind of turned off by that. Like, you're playing the long game with networking. So really developing authentic relationships with people you want to keep following up with people you want to be friends with. That's what it's about. It's not about just like spreading your seed everywhere. It's really about finding these people and then maintaining a relationship with them over time. So if you're an introvert, I want to just tell you, like, you are probably, the same things that make you a good therapist would make you good at building relationships that would be good referral sources to have for clients. Okay, that I just wanted to put that in as a side note for all my introvert people. So, okay, again, I've said this before, but therapy is really, it's an amazing thing to be marketing because it is a service that people with intent go searching for. It's not like we're having to tell them about this new coaching program or service or whatever that we do that's like something they haven't heard of and they have to understand it first and whatever. It's like something people are like, I need therapy. I am freaking searching for a therapist. Like, let me pull out my computer. I am going to Google. Let me ask my friend who's in therapy if her therapist has a recommendation. Like, people know about therapy and they want to go to therapy. Therapy is something that is seen as important. It's becoming even more so, like, seen as important in our society. So we just have to know how to be found by those right people when they're searching for a therapist. We do not need to be at the top of everyone's mind. We do not need to be all over social media. We do not need to be blasting everyone, although, you know, getting out there in the beginning can be very helpful. This is not a sustainable way to do our practice in the long run. So, how are people looking for a specialist? How are people, okay, when people, I've said this before, but like when people are thinking about getting a therapist, there are the people in the insurance camp, right, who will just go to their insurance list and they're like, I'm just going to use my insurance, whatever, cool. Those people might be fine with someone who treats bipolar, depression, families, couples, anxiety, whatever. They are just wanting to use their insurance. Cost is the most important thing to them. All right. We are not marketing to those people if we are marketing to a private pay client. We are marketing to the person who says, what's important to me in therapy is the relationship with the therapist and that the therapist is a true specialist in this thing that I'm suffering from. And I'm willing to pay more in order to find someone who is a specialist, who shows me that they are worth me paying for. We're marketing to those people, okay? So in order to do that, we need to come across as a specialist, we need to be able to present our value to these people. And I did a training on this, I believe it was like maybe last week or the week before, so feel free to go back through the guide section and look at this, like how to show up as a specialist in your website and in everything you're doing and writing. But so I want you to think about these people who are looking for a specialist. How are they looking for that specialist? So they're probably, like I kind of hinted at this, but like they're either maybe asking that friend or someone who has access to therapists, maybe they're a chiropractor, maybe they're, you know, someone they trust that they think really knows about good therapists, or they are probably searching on Google for a therapist, for a specialist. And so, I'm thinking about like, if you think about people you've known in your life who have money and who value therapy, if they are like, wow, and I'm thinking about my clients as well, like when they're like, I have all this unresolved trauma, I really want someone to help me with this trauma, who's good. First of all, some of them have been friends of my other clients and they've been like, oh yeah, like I've heard you're really good at treating trauma. And they come to me in that way, which is great, which is retention is another part of all of marketing actually. But they also would probably go to Google and they would probably be typing into Google, trauma therapist, Seattle. And then they would really be looking at the first websites that come up and seeing like who really sticks out to me in here. So a really big part of this, like I said before, is like helping you stick out, because all of what we're talking about today, it's all going to fall flat if your website is just like, milk toast or whatever. So my client Kayla, for example, she was new and unlicensed, totally unniched when we started working together. So in addition to some other things we did to help her really be that, like show her superpowers and network with the right people, develop relationships really with the right people, we also got her to start ranking on Google in order to be found. She was getting like 4 client calls a week. People were finding her. She got to page 1 or 2 of Google, and she had 6 private pay clients in just 12 weeks. So this strategy that we're talking about today, it allows my clients to rank on Google. It has filled my practice for years with amazing clients who really are ready to get started and they're not batting an eye at paying out of pocket for therapy. And you can do a lot of these strategies from bed. What I want to say as a caveat to all of this is I want to be clear that it's not always as quick as it was with Kayla. Like this stuff we're talking about of getting you to rank on Google, it is a long game. There are things we can do to speed it up, like really optimize your Google business profile, really make it good. But it is a long game. So this is the kind of thing that once you have it in place, you're going to get client calls for years to come with having to do not as much, like not too much. You're not going to have to invest in this year after year, month after month. It's something you will have control over, how to bring in more clients when you want to bring in more clients. You'll know, like, this is how I'm going to add content to my website. This is the way I need to add content. This is the way to optimize my blogs for SEO so that I get found. These are the tweaks I need to make to my Google business profile. And we'll go into a little bit of that. So what do we do for Kayla? So she had this amazing website. She was a specialist. She was niched down. She had incredible copy on her website. She was networking with the right people and building up referral sources with the right people. So one thing we did that I think is really important is we worked really hard on her Google business profile, and Google business profile will often rank before like your website ranks. So we optimized it. She had a bunch of pictures in there. She had a bunch of reviews from her colleagues and from people inside my program. She also was updating it. So she was changing up the picture. She was changing up her posts or like adding new updates to it. She made the description contain her keywords and speak to her ideal clients so that when they found it, they were like, oh, that's me. The way we did that is we really made that the little description part of your Google business profile, we made that speak to about their pain in their own words in the first sentence they saw. Also speak to their goals and letting them know that she could help them with their goals in their own words. So your clients aren't coming to you wanting emotional regulation. They're coming to you because they just want to reconnect with their partner and fall in love again, for example, or they're wanting to heal their relationship with food. So that is a little kind of nugget about how to do that description on your profile. Make sure you're updating your Google business profile weekly. Make sure you're adding pictures regularly of you, of your office, of, other little fun things that are relevant to your practice if you don't have an office, as well as, getting those reviews from colleagues and trying to get a review like every week. Okay, so then we also focused on her SEO, and SEO is just it's a way of communicating with Google that you are an expert in something and that Google should show your web page to people who search for specific things on Google. So essentially what this means is like when someone searches for like trauma therapist, Seattle or something like that, like Google is like scouring all the web pages out there, and the web page that has like the most kind of specialist content on it that other people have referred to, it's judging like what of these websites is like the most relevant and the best to show to this person. So we are trying to communicate to Google that your website is the one to show by showing Google that like, yeah, I'm an expert. Yeah, other people are linking back to my website. Yeah, a ton of people are like clicking on my website and going on my website. Yeah, I have tons of blogs about this where I reference other things. I link to other pages on my website. Like I use this word over and over and over again that this person is searching for. So this used to really scare me, and I know it's like a very intimidating thing. It's really not as complicated as it seems, and it's something that you can learn it and you can feel like this is easy. Like I've had clients be like, I could teach SEO now because I feel like I get it. Like it's easy. It's just, you're just sort of like plugging some stuff in, and once you know how to do it, like it's like kind of in your control for your life. I also have like an SEO call that people can go to get more assistance on this as well. So SEO is also important for your Google business profile. So like your Google business profile, even your Psychology Today, they're all using SEO. They're all, kind of judging what you're doing and understanding what you're doing based on like the words you're using, and the keywords that you're putting into there. So again, keywords are really about like talking to your client about the problem the way they're talking about the problem. So, if your client, maybe there are some clients who would be searching for trauma therapy or for EMDR. In Colorado, where I am, that is how people would probably search, because a lot of people are very like hip to, mental illness, and they understand a lot of this stuff there. In some other places, people might not be searching as much for that. They might be searching for things like, I'm trying to think, like stress, they might be searching for, I shouldn't have used this example because off the top of my head, I'm like not even thinking about about what they would be searching for. But let me know if you have any ideas in the chat of what you think. For example, like, people might not always be searching for like anxiety therapy or something like that. They might be searching for, nervousness or panic attacks, or, we just have to really get inside, depending on what your niche is, get inside the head of like your ideal client to see what it is they would be typing into Google when they are looking for a therapist. Okay. So this is what keywords are. So I teach you also how to research them. There's tons of tools out there for how to research them. Mangles is one. It's a really good one. Google Trends is another one that is good. So these, or Mangles at least, will show you like how hard certain words are to rank for and what things are getting searched for. So you can know like this would be a good thing to put all over my website. Like these words would be a good thing to put on my website. Because you might be trying to rank for something like therapist for child-free woman or something, and you might see like, okay, no one is searching for that in my area, but they are searching for, trauma therapist, or they are searching for anxiety therapy or whatever. And again, this is going to differ based on like where you are in the country, and you can refine your search based on like where you are. And so that's something to really pay attention to. Like, yes, maybe you can speak to child-free women on your webpage, and that's like an area that you're really specialized in and that you know a lot about. And then when those people find you, they're going to be like, oh heck yeah, this person is for me. But we really want to be having like, okay, what are they actually typing into Google? We want that to be all over your webpage. We want that to be like in the bulk, the body of your text, in your headings, in your subheadings, in the title of the page, in the URL slug, which is like the thing that, when it's like www.mindfulcounselingdenver.com/ anxiety therapy. It's like the thing after the slash. So meta descriptions are like little descriptions of what the page is about. You want your keywords to go in there. You want your keywords to be in like image titles and in the page title as well. And you can also put zip codes in there to help Google know like this is where this person is. So if someone living in that zip code of like 80218 is searching for anxiety therapist, boom, like good indication that this is someone we might want to show to them. So let me know, by the way, if this is all kind of making sense. I know it's a lot to think about, like SEO, and it's kind of like, it can feel like a brand new kind of thing. And it did for me for a long time. It felt really intimidating and really freaky to think about. But I think it's a really helpful thing to know about and to have the empowerment to kind of know how to do. Those are some of the places you're going to be putting keywords on your website to attract your ideal client. And I also have a website template that clearly lays out like how to optimize your site for SEO. Yeah, so it feels intimidating, but it makes sense. Totally. I totally understand that. It's a different like language, essentially, you're learning with SEO, and it's a different way of thinking about things. We're so used to, I think, as clinicians, like being in the clinician chair and like being so good at like helping our clients through things, and also conceptualizing of cases in a certain way and using certain language. And it's not always the way our clients are thinking of it. So we're just like shifting our thinking a little bit. And I think it ends up honestly making us even a better therapist to be able to do this stuff. So I think it's a really cool thing in the long run. So what we did, again, with Kayla was we integrated these keywords, we indexed her pages, which is another thing you want to do in Google Search Console to make sure Google even like knows about your website. This is an important thing. And then made her copy use the words that her clients would use when seeking out therapy, which were these first responders with trauma. And then we monitored sort of how it was going. She also started another thing I mentioned was adding content to your site. So what we did with her is she blogged to these clients and optimized her blogs for SEO. So essentially what that meant was, again, making sure her keywords were in all these places, in the body of the text, that it was scannable, that it was readable, that there were lots of links to other pages on her site, that it was broken up, it had headings and subheadings, that she had keywords in her meta title, meta description, she had image titles. Again, I know this all sounds intimidating, but once you learn what it is, it's like you know it and you just can do it from then on. She also said about acquiring backlinks, which is another important thing. So having other links to your site that say like, that maybe reference a blog or reference a page on your site. This is another thing for Google that Google's like, oh, this is a site that's like valuable, because like, for instance, if you're thinking about like, some encyclopedic article on ADHD, and there are like a bajillion sites that list that article as a reference, Google will probably put that ADHD article high up when someone searches like ADHD. It's the same thing with your site. If you have a lot of people kind of like referencing back to your site, Google will put it higher up in the rankings. So again, these are things that I know it sounds complicated and I know that can be this like wanting to just like let someone else do it. But I also think these aren't things that you can really just hire out because really no one knows your client population the way you know your client population. So you are the one sitting in session hearing how these people are talking about their problem. You are the one who understands the depth of their pain, who understands exactly what they're wanting from therapy. You are, I'm telling you, and I know you might not believe this now, but you are best situated to be writing to these people. You are the best situated to do the SEO, which is a part of this to these people, and you're capable of it. I just want to tell you that. So this is one of the elements of what I help people with, and it's part of a big pillar. I call it Kismet Findability, which is really about helping you be found by your ideal clients without needing to burn yourself out or be visible everywhere. And when your website has this great messaging and you stand out, and then you're findable, it's like this great combination of things. It allows you to be drawing clients in and getting clients when you sleep. Again, it's a longer term strategy, so don't expect it to be like I wrote a blog and why am I not ranking? No, it's going to take some time, but in combo with your Google business profile, this can be really powerful. Another thing we really work on is that part, I call it establishing expertise, of helping you come across as the expert superstar therapist that you really are in all your writing. So that clients who find you are like, yeah, that's my person. Like, I want to work with her. And the last thing we work on is just helping you create a practice that's in line with like what you want, with the rate you want to charge, that supports you, that you like to be in. And you're also giving value to your current clients. They're referring to you. You're giving value to people before they even meet you. Like, that's what I'm talking about too with your website, like making it so amazing that people are like, oh, I feel seen. Like, I feel there's some healing that took place from me just reading this, which is like, what an amazing like act of service we can do that also helps us bring in clients. So again, if you want to get started on doing this and grow your practice in the next 90 days, would love to chat with you. I will put the link below. So great to have you today, and thanks for coming. Have a good week.